We start with nothing, blank canvas. And then there is this thing that we call the earth. And the earth is very big because we are close to it and we are part of it. And then there is the sun that's actually even much bigger, but that's only what we know, but the power is very strong. So the energy comes down, 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 down to the earth. And the earth has also a center, but the earth is different, which means that the earth energy is radiating out to all directions from a center, and the radiation continues. So every radiation follows the extension of the energy outwards, outwards, outwards. And as it goes further out, it meets the energy that comes from the sun. And so that energy is very strong. It goes out from here, it goes out from here, it goes out from here, it goes out from here. So there's this downward energy that reaches the earth, and it's the upward energy that reaches out of the earth, but much weaker. There is still some upward energy that goes up, up, up towards the sun. And so, let's say that this energy meets the other energy, so this energy that is radiating outwards meets the energy that is radiating from the sun inwards. Now, when these two meet, it creates basically what we can call, you could translate it into an eye of awareness. But since the energy downwards meets the resistance of the energy going upwards, and the resisting downwards meets the resistance of the energy going upwards, it changes the whole shape, and it gets bent this way and this way. And all the resistance that comes down against the resistance that comes up creates a dome-like shape. And all the resistance that goes down and meets the resistance that is now stronger because it's close to the earth coming up, meets the resistance and creates the whole thing, starts to come down into what we can call a cosmic egg. It's a shape, a round shape, almost imitating the earth. So all these resistances that go like from this to this, this, and that, so it's like this is the sun energy that shapes it, and this will be the earth energy that comes up and shapes it, and that surrounds it. So when you start to really meet in the middle, you get this very interesting pattern that you can see in the waves of an ocean. It creates like it creates a structure of waves, and so it's like this energy crossing this energy. And that's basically the compression from all sides that we feel is the resistance of these two energies that create their own resistance, which is very interesting for me because it creates a shape of a head and it creates a shape of the human form inside. Then there is this part that is very essential, and that is the opening through which this can move out. The earth energy can move out. And this opening is like a small lens in which this energy moves into the earth from the sun. And so there's the receptive side from up and down that creates the egg. And as the energy comes from everywhere from the sun into it, but the central one is the strongest, which we call Susumna. It's the direct connection, the opposing connection of the center of the earth to the center of the sun, or we can call it the center of the universe, but we receive it all the time. And that center line is now hitting the ceiling and splitting open also from inside, but also from outside, and falls back around it. So as the energy comes in this way, it makes you feel your inner body in that side. If it comes that way, it makes you feel the other side. And it's depending on the size here. Like, these are focusing lenses. This way, as it comes from this side, as it comes from this side, from the earth. The wider you make the space underneath you, the more you get focused to the center, to the sides, and then the more you feel that these meeting points create a weave of the inner body. They also cross like the outside. So the inside and the outside have the same kind of pattern of meeting each other. But the stream inside is like a fountain. So as it escapes outwards, meeting all these resistances, it can only go as far as the strength of the inner energy from the earth. And then it bends over and it goes out and flows around back to the earth. You know, so there is a limit to how far you can extend. And this extension and this release and falling back, they actually keep this form in existence. So the form stays more and more steady for a little while. As this weakens, this force, and as we get older, it is less and less important, and we start leaking the energy out, and we get it. The whole form is released, which is almost like the seasons. Like in the springtime, this power is very strong. In the winter, this power is weakened. The sun is out of the picture more and more, and so it's dependent on the sun and the earth together how to create this shape. But we belong to the earth, we are close to the earth, So there is this very important focus as it comes in through this lens, and as it goes out to the other lens. These cross lines is depending on how much space you can create here and how much space you can create here, how wide it is. And if you have noticed that if you get it too wide, it gets towards the center, it gets more like this. If it's too wide, it gets more like this. So the energy gets more into the center line. So if it's more narrow, it spreads more like this and comes out to the sides, and you expand the middle more. And so this is all happening with the egg, you know, that it creates the center and it creates the sides. And that is dependent on how wide you can make your own inner experience by rooting to a center line. Let the roots come from deep down the earth or from high up in the sun. It's like, how much can you widen the experience and make the side walls wider and create more space? And if the lens gets wider and the lens gets more narrow, there's also a difference. So this is what calls the bandhas here. These are the two bandhas around the cosmic egg.
Well, could we imagine this as the root chakra and the crown chakra? Or?
Yeah. This is everything that is close to the earth is the root chakra, everything that's close to the sky is the crown chakra.
But then you have so this could be the crown and the root, but it could also be just the head or just the torso.
It could be just one cell of your body. It could be just one skin cell, you know. And it can take all kind of shapes in that sense. Well, in the beginning, you know, in the head of a baby, you have this ingoing element, it's called the fontanelle. So all the energy can go more freely into the bottom of the root chakra of the head, you know. So this is the spine, it's almost like the stem of a flower, and this is a bud, a young bud budding, yeah. But it's always much more free to receive more energy in from the sun. Later on we close it, it grows tight and it becomes the top skull, the crown chakra. It still, since it's a chakra, it still tells you that it's an open space. And here is an open space where the brain goes into two circles inside around the opening that communicates with each other, left brain, right brain. If we keep going to the cosmic egg, to explain that the inner energy, that pathway, is the real thing that gives birth to everything that is there. This upwards and downwards reception in two directions is important. And since we are always closer to the earth, we experience the earth more important. So the earth is not as hot as the sun, so it doesn't have as much power. In reality, the earth is very small compared to the sun. So energy-wise, it is basically an earth, they explain it like this and this, which means from the middle it radiates and meets its borderline of gravity that comes down from this enormous sun that is in reality so much bigger, and it is so much more translucent and filled with gas rather than with clay and material that makes it heavier. So it's the sun that is actually winning over the earth. So all our life plays just around the earth like a little skin. So all the cosmic eggs live in that skin as an expression of the earth, of its own warmth that wants to go and is fed by the sun. I hope that is clear a little bit.
Yeah.
Closer to the earth and trying to reach the sun, and then what you get is basically, with these cross lines that I made, the circular action. That actually then creates something else than the cosmic egg. It creates these cells that you can see in every pineapple. Yeah? So we are also pineapples in the world. It is, you know, in essence, we are all part of this cosmic game of cross lines. The outer skin of a pineapple is harder, and inside is this core that is almost solid to eat it. This flesh is softer, but the core is solid, which continues in the stem of this and then sprouts out in strong leaves that go out. And if you cut it here, put it in sand, it grows again new roots when this is fully, you know, grown fully out. So it's a continuation of life through the sun energy. I think this is the most important part if you really try to find what resistance means. It's when the sun energy meets the earth energy, and the earth energy, which is having this magma, this inner sun, that allows it to radiate a little bit outwards and climb up until it meets too much resistance, then it can't go further. So there's a limit to how high we can grow. Every tree has its own limits. I think this resistance is actually, that resistance is the one that, when these lines are meeting.
So you could say that the opposing forces are the creation of all forms.
Yeah. That is the rajas and the tamas. The rajas going up, that makes it all go this way, and then the tamas that holds it back again. That's the resistance of these two forces. One wants to go up from the earth, and the sun brings it pressure down, and they meet each other and they weave together. It's a weave. And then the center of this creates what a real egg would create as the egg yellow. And then it's held in place by some weaving of that anchors it, that makes it a little floatable but still anchors it, which is the umbilical cord of the egg. But the interesting part is actually that all this is creating the awareness. The egg yellow is actually part of the iris. It's becoming aware. you know, and the rooting down and the climbing up are basically creating this whole awareness of the I. And without this awareness, we wouldn't be that curious. You know, and I think everything has this awareness. Every cat, every dog is watchful. And so, there it is. My lesson for today, my friends.